Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. The crane, we've got a working crane. If you haven't seen our original video, check it out. This should go here. Please do, it's proving quite popular. And how did I get this working? Well, I wanted it aesthetically mainly, but when it arrived it was kind of collapsed down and I couldn't mount it on the truck properly. It's not mounted down yet, everything is still just loose, it's just placed. But when I got it on the 15th of October, I realised it came with one servo lead. It come from Banggood. It wasn't particularly clear what radio you needed or anything like that, so I didn't know what, but I had to order a radio, or I thought I could use any radio, sorry. But it turns out there's just one servo lead and all of the different motors are run independently down this one servo lead. So it transpired that the easiest way to get this working was to use the original radio gear that is for the truck that this crane is for, which I believe is the HG P801 or 802, can't remember, I always get the P and the HGs mixed up. But anyway, this crane is specifically for that truck, and the radio gear of that truck works this crane. So I had the difficult task of finding the right radio gear for it. Now, thank you very much to Arctic Noodle. Now, he has posted a lot of comments on the original video of ours. Again, check it out if you haven't seen it already, because that's the unboxing. He helped greatly because he has the truck and he also has this crane. Now, I didn't know whether you just plug this into the original radio gear and it would work, and he did a little personal video for me and it did work. So thank you very much for that, absolute star. So I'm going to talk you through first before we show it to you working, because you will see it moving and operating and how that happens. I want to talk to you about the radio gear because it's not particularly straightforward. Well, I didn't find it straightforward anyway. So a quick jump cut, I'm going to move the truck backwards. I've had to wait nigh on nearly 20 days for this radio gear to turn up, and it came yesterday, and yeah, getting it to work, you know, there was a bit of tension there, but it's all good. So quick jump cut and let's have a look at the radio gear. This is the radio gear, Traipsed 16C or Traipsed D, I don't know how you pronounce it. So I got the radio gear, which came in a box. It's over there, it's not to hand, from Banggood. So it was a separate order, and this is the upgraded radio gear for the HG trucks, and this is the radio gear that you need to be able to run this crane. You can probably do it other ways, but this is the simplest way to do it, I believe. With the radio you get this receiver. Now this receiver has got a POW channel on it, power. Now, that is the channel in the instructions for the crane that the little servo lead that comes out of the bottom of the crane plugs into. It's got POW on it. And that's what you plug in as one channel into this radio gear. Now, when the radio gear arrived yesterday, I hoped and prayed that it was bound to the radio, but of course that would have been too simple. It wasn't. So how do you do that? Well, the radio instructions for mine, I believe from looking on the internet that some have got English in them as well, but my one was just all Chinese. So there's a pair key on the front of the radio, or on the front of the receiver, sorry. So I was trying for about 15 minutes. And I worked out by finding a video on YouTube that was buried, and it took me a long time to find it, that what you do is you turn the radio on, hold this button here, that's a button on the side of the radio, you hold that button with the radio on, you then power the receiver up by holding the pair key, and they then bind. So that worked, and it worked fine. How am I powering this? Because that was my other concern, and this is also what Arctic Noodle, I think, is it Arctic Noodle? Apologies if I've got your name wrong. Yes, it is Arctic Noodle, and he confirmed that it worked with just power in channel 2. Now I was worried that you'd have to have other channels plugged in from the truck, and this wouldn't work, so this was a gamble. So my plan was always to plug in a power feed, and in this instance I've got a very cheap Beck that I always use, Andrew and I always use, just off eBay, £4.50 delivered. I've soldiered on the JST to it, and it works, which is great. So the crane is operational. The radio is not too bad actually, you know. It was £55 delivered, Euro priority shipping, and yeah, it's like any kind of standard cheap radio. I'm not going to be using it for anything but the crane. The only downside is often the case. Oh, ignore the mismatched batteries. Yeah, that was because those are the ones I had lying around. You cannot use rechargeables in here because I've got lots of rechargeables, and that's why they're mismatched, because I don't have general 1.5s lying around. So that's why it was just in a bit of a hurry to get that back. So it takes 6 batteries. Yeah, so if you're going to do this setup, make sure you've got it spare. But the important thing is, and I would have loved to have seen a video like this when I was looking, but there aren't really any out there. So hopefully this will help you if you're looking at getting this crane. If you order the crane, order the radio gear as well. Simplest option, I think. You could probably, if you were a bit of a techno person, you could probably work it out so you could use it with another radio gear, or wire the motors in the crane separately, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted the simplest, easiest option I could get. So let's plug it in, do another jump cut, and we'll see the crane. Everything's plugged in. So the receiver, the crane is plugged into the POW channel on the receiver, and I've got a little 2S LiPo plugged in, and we are now ready to go. So on the radio, it's a few buttons. Actually, some 3-way switches. So this one up here on the top, and these front top 2 here, and then the right stick, which would normally be your elevator and aileron controls if you're flying an RC plane. So this thing is noisy, right? That controls the rotation of the crane. It's a noisy thing, and to be fair, that bit's quite fast. A lot of the functions on this are really, really, really slow. So, and that Arctic Noodle warned me about that, and they are extraordinarily slow. So this button here, this 3-way switch, you put it up, and that is moving the crane upwards. You can see it moving slowly. Middle stops it, and down pushes it down. So that's not too slow. Up and down, so left and right moves the crane left and right. Up and down moves actually the back end of the crane down. So it's kind of not just tilting the arm up, it's tilting the whole body of the crane upwards. This switch here is extending the boom. Now, Arctic Noodle said to me, oh, if you're extending the boom, let me move this out of the way for now. If you're extending the boom, go and have a cup of tea. And he was right, because it is moving, believe it or not. I don't know if the camera can even pick that up. But yeah, let's just leave that on for a while it extends. This switch here, this 3-way switch, lowers and raises the hook, and that works quite well. Again, it's not overly quick, but it works nonetheless. Let's keep moving the crane upwards. So that's not too bad. I'm going to have to zoom out here a little bit, I think. Okay, that was an impromptu jump cut there, because with the crane moving upwards, it was out of shot. So I'm going to turn that switch off. So that's as high up as the crane will go. Believe it or not, this is still extending. very, 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 very slowly. Let me pick the camera up and you can have a look. So you can tell it's moving as it's pulling, gently pulling out the cable, and it is obviously extending, because when we started the video it was like this. So it extends this arm first, and then when it starts extending this arm next. I really do like it. It's really cool. It really can't lift anything heavy or twist with anything heavy. There is a limit to Arctic Noodle again. I keep saying it, thank you very much. He put a penknife on the end, and what then happened is this just started, it's got like a servo saver in it, if you like, not a servo, but a motor saver, that it clicks, and it really can't twist very far with a lot of weight on it. So now the end boom is out, this side of the boom is coming out, the thicker end is coming out, so it's still got a way to go. So it is quite large. Let's just clip some of my flatbed accessories on the back here and give you a demonstration of it turning round. So let's lift this up so it doesn't hit the cab. I don't know why it's louder in one direction than the other. Let's put this down. Wrong way. It's going to take me a little while to get used to all the buttons. So it will lower down. There we go. I love it. I think that's cool. It's pretty, I mean, it's not absolutely fantastic, but it's pretty cool. It looks amazing. It's the looks for me that, you know, are better than anything else. This boom is still extending. So I don't know how long that's been. Must be about 3 or 4 minutes by now, I would imagine. But that, yeah, don't expect this to happen quickly at all. So while that's still extending, you can then see. So this is me moving the crane with up and down right stick. So it's kind of lifting, pushing it forwards. Whee! See, that's going to be the other issue. I mean, obviously it's not bolted down at the moment, but let me put it back, because otherwise it's going to fall off. But yeah, it's quite a heavy lump, and you know, you can't lift anything substantial with it. So let's lift the load up slightly. Is the boom still coming out? Yep, the boom's still going. It's got to be near on 5 minutes now, surely. Because yeah, we're at 4 minutes on this section of video and it's still going, and I started it before then. So again, this button here, this 3-way switch on the top, is raising and lowering the arm, and that's quite a quick movement, but you can see it doing that, and it's, if I don't stop, it's going to tip it over in a moment. Yeah, it's just starting to wobble, so let's put it back up. I think the boom is fully extended. Yeah, it's not coming out anymore. It does have motor savers on it, so it won't let you, if you just leave one of these switches in place, once it gets to the end of its travel, it will just stop, and it doesn't seem to click. The only time you get a click is from this process, if you try and lift something that is too heavy. I haven't experimented. Oh, that is loud. I haven't experimented with the exact weight it can lift, but yeah, as I say, from what I saw in the trial video, it was a penknife, so The limit is supposed to be 1.2 kilograms. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I love it. It looks awesome. It looks so cool. I really, really love it. It's just brilliant. It doesn't mean I've got to carry this radio around. It's one downside, I guess, but I mean, when you've got something that looks just amazing. Let's bring the camera back slightly so you can see it on the truck in all its glory. How awesome does that look? That's just really cool. I love it. Just drive around with it like that. The next step obviously is going to be mounting it. What I'm going to have to do is play around with how the servo lead comes out and connects to the radio, because on this plate, because it normally goes on the chassis of the truck, you can put the servo lead through here, which I'm obviously not going to be able to do that because this is going to be bolted in four corners onto the flatbed. So yes, Andrew's going to cry because there's going to be more holes in the flatbed, but I don't care. My truck, it's not his. What I'm going to have to do is, so that this lies flat, because this is going to be bolted to that plate that you just saw, I'm going to have to take out, unscrew this and then cut out a channel in here so that the cable can sit in there and it will then sit flat, and it won't be kind of uneven, if you like. So that's going to be the first step, and then the next step is going to be where I mount it on the bed. I'm not sure if I should mount it closer to the cab or further back. I'm thinking further back, so it's almost sitting where it is now. Don't know. I can't probably lift a lot onto the flatbed, so it's possibly going to be to lift things onto the trailer or Andrew's flatbed, because the idea is to winch things in with the new winch, and then pick things up with the crane, little sticks and things like that, if they're not too heavy, and then lay them down on Andrew's flatbed or on my trailer. But I'm very pleased, so I hope this has helped you if you do want to go through this idea and put this crane on the back of your truck, whatever it might be. It does look amazing. I'm really pleased. Again, even if it didn't work as in remote control, and it just was an ornament, I wouldn't really care, because it's damn cool. We've wanted a crane on the back of the truck for ages. I'm going to probably weather it, get Andrew maybe to weather it, buy him a pint or two, or maybe a curry. It seems to be a better way to his heart, and see if he'll do some of his magic with weathering, try and get it to match the truck. It does look quite realistic, and it is metal, to be fair, so yeah, that should finish it off nicely. I do like the little box it comes with. You can open this up. When I tried to do it the other day, I was doing it wrong on the unboxing video. So it will open up, so you can put a battery in there. So the lead will go through here, and you can then put that next to the crane, and that means the receiver and all the leads and bits and pieces can go inside there and be hidden away. So the next video of this will be once I've mounted it. I'm going to be careful about how I mount it and make sure, because it's a one-time operation, because it's going to leave holes in the flatbed. It needs to be bolted down securely. Yeah, that will be the next edition. Thank you as always for watching. Yeah, I'm a little bit calmer now I know I've spent money on this radio gear and it actually works. Excuse the mess behind the truck. That's all bits and pieces of projects I've got going on. It's easier to leave it outright than to pack it away neatly every time. And I'm a busy man, so I can't waste time doing that. So that's the excuse for the mess. Thanks for watching as always. Please like and subscribe. Comments, any questions you've got I haven't covered in this, please feel free to ask. If you're thinking about getting this crane and you think, what do I think about it? I think it's great. If you want it for lifting lots of things and that's what you're hoping for it to do, I wouldn't go for it in that respect. It's more of an ornamental looking thing. It will do stuff, but yeah, don't expect to be lifting heavy logs and bags of stones and stuff like that, because it just won't cope with it. But it's awesome for what we want it for, and we will do some lifting sequences and some video with it. Please like and subscribe. Catch up soon, guys. There's lots of videos coming. Thank you for all your support, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you soon.